Juru bus crash victims recovering in hospital. Man sentenced 81 years in prison for incest. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Mohana Priya. Welcome to News on 2. All 45 victims of the Juru bus crash yesterday are receiving treatment in 3 hospitals. 38 of them are in Hospital Seberang Jaya, 4 in Hospital Sungai Bakap, and 3 are in Hospital Bukit Mertajam. In a statement, Pulau Pinang Health Director Dr. Sukumar Mahesan said 2 victims in critical condition were sent to Hospital Pulau Pinang for further treatment. Yesterday, 2 factory buses were involved in an accident near the Juru northbound toll plaza on the North-South Expressway. During the 5:30 a.m. incident, one of the buses, which was carrying workers from Indonesia and Nepal, had apparently stopped on the left side of the road near the Juru toll due to an engine problem. Another bus carrying 15 local workers failed to brake in time and rammed into the first bus, pushing it to the right side of the road. 8 people have died so far. The 2 bus drivers, aged between 30 and 40 years, are now being remanded for 4 days to facilitate investigations. The Kota Tinggi Sessions Court in Johor sentenced a man to 81 years imprisonment and 8 strokes of the cane after he pleaded guilty to 5 counts of incest committed against his biological daughter from 2011 to 2015. The 51-year-old pleaded guilty to the charges after it was read to him before Judge Zahila Muhammad Yusof. For the first and second counts, the accused was charged with committing the offence at a house in Taman Sri Sarjana in Kota Tinggi in May 2011 and March 2012. For the third and fourth final charges, the accused was charged with raping, molesting and forcing his underage daughter to perform oral sex at a house in Felda Ai Tawa 3 in February, October and November 2015. He was charged under Section 354, 376B1 and 377 of the Penal Code. Prosecution was led by Deputy Public Prosecutor Nurdayana Mohamad, while the accused was represented by his counsel Salwa Sulaiman. Meanwhile, the victim's uncle, who is the brother-in-law of the accused, also pleaded guilty to molesting the victim at the same house in Felda Ai Tawa in May 2014. He was charged under Section 354 of the Penal Code. Warisan Putatan Division Party Secretary Amarjit Singh, who was issued a 6-day remand on October 20th to assist with the Sabah embezzlement case, was released on a Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission bail today. Magistrate Cindy McJus Belitus set bail at 50,000 ringgit with a 15,000 ringgit deposit and 2 sureties. Amarjit, who was released at 10 this morning at the Kota Kinabalu Magistrates Court, was also told to report to a local MACC office once a month. Prosecution was done by MACC officer Muhammad Falik Basiruddin, while Amarjit was represented by lawyer Loretta Padua. Amarjit was among 13 individuals detained to assist with the embezzlement of a development project in Sabah between 2009 to 2015. 2 siblings were among the 5 detained for drugs by the National Anti-Drugs Agency, AADK, in Sik, Kedah. The siblings were caught in Kampung Cemara, whereas the rest were nabbed in Mukim Jenerai and Teloi, Sik. Sik AADK Chief Roslin Baharom, in a statement, said the operation, which began at 11 p.m., ended this morning. The addicts, aged between 19 and 40 years, were also unemployed. They were taken to the Sik AADK office for further action. All of them tested positive for methamphetamine and opioids. The suspects were remanded in the AADK lockup before being charged in court. The Labuan branch of the Domestic Trade Cooperatives and Consumerism KPDNKK Ministry busted the biggest unlicensed diesel deal in local history with the seizure of an oil barge carrying 20,000 litres of fuel in Labuan waters yesterday. The seizure was estimated to be worth more than 254,000 ringgit. PDNKK Putrajaya Interagency Unit Chief of the Enforcement Unit Division, Ravichandran Vadivelu, said the seizure was made in a 4-hour operation dubbed Marine Trade Ops, which began at 9 a.m. Tuesday. Speaking at a briefing at Labuan Police Marine Jetty, Ravichandran said the operation was conducted through the National Blue Ocean Strategy and BOSS with Labuan Marine Police, involving 30 personnel from the 2 enforcement agencies. 3 Malaysian crew members on board the barge had also been detained. The seizure was the 3rd case of its kind made in Labuan waters this year. The case is being investigated under the Control of Supplies Regulations 1974 and Control of Supplies Act 1961. The Malaysian Immigration Office in Tawau deported 156 Indonesian illegal immigrants via the Tawau port to Nunukanin, Indonesia. They comprised 119 men, 31 women and 6 children, including 2 girls, with the youngest age 3 days old and the oldest 61 years. The illegal immigrants were deported after completing their jail sentence at the Tawau prison for various offences. These offences were committed in Lahad Datu, Sempurna, Tawau and Kunak. They include for not having proper travel documents, apart from overstaying with an expired permit. Razman Manap of Tawau Immigration Office said the operation was done with the cooperation of the Indonesian Consulate, the National Security Council and port officials. He said this when met by reporters at the Tawau ferry terminal. In the run-up to the tabling of the 2018 budget, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak has reiterated that the government is committed to ensure that Malaysians enjoy the benefits derived from the growing economy. In his recent blog entry, the Premier shared the tribulations faced by his administration in tackling the Malaysian economic challenges since taking over the helm of national administration in 2009. The Prime Minister said, among others, it had helped in registering a stunning reduction in hardcore poverty in the country from 3.8% in 2009 to just 0.4% last year. The people's income per capita had also increased from 27,819 ringgit in 2010 to 40,713 ringgit in 2017, with the monthly median income having increased from 4,585 ringgit in 2014 to 5,288 ringgit in 2016 for a nation with a population of approximately 30 million. There was also an improvement in the B40 household income, which had grown to 3,000 ringgit in 2016 from 2,629 ringgit in 2014. In the same blog post, Datuk Seri Najib also refuted the claim that implementation of the Goods and Services Tax (GST) was to pay for One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB. The Premier said that if raising revenue was the government's only intention, it would have been easier to raise existing corporate income and the sales and service taxes. Datuk Seri Najib stated that the GST was not a new tax, as falsely alleged by some quarters, but it was a replacement for the sales and services taxes, which were inefficient, complicated, and not working well for either consumers or businesses. The GST should not be considered an additional new tax, but part of a comprehensive tax reform that is designed to make Malaysia more competitive. Talking about 1MDB, Datuk Seri Najib said that the company had, in fact, played a key role in solving lopsided power agreements signed by a former leader. When 1MDB entered the industry, it was the lowest bidder in all of its agreements, thus saving Malaysia 200 billion ringgit over the next 20 years. 1MDB had also funded the construction and upgrade of 8 military bases, as well as thousands of scholarships and Hajj trips, which past governments were unable to do. 10 million ringgit has been allocated by Perbadanan Usahawan Nasional Berhad (PUNB) for the food truck loan financing program for Bumiputra food and beverages entrepreneurs nationwide. PUNB Chairman Tan Sri Muhammad Ali Rustam said the scheme offers financing of up to 150,000 ringgit and with a profit margin of 4.5% per annum at a flat rate. Tan Sri Muhammad Ali added that to date, PUNB had received 121 applications that will be processed according to the qualifications and requirements set out. Applicants may also receive 100% financing on the price of the food truck.
Kita benarkan juga food truck recon ni, kerana ada yang food truck tadi dia belanja cuma 25,000 saja dan boleh berniaga dengan baik dan menguntungkan. Kalau kita syaratkan yang baru saja dan 90, 100,000, 80, mereka pun tak cukup duit kan. Elok beli yang murah. Nanti pegawai PNB akan semak lah.
He spoke to reporters at the launch of the program in Aikro, Melaka. Come Saturday, Malaysians and tourists will be fettered to a colourful mix of musical splendour against a nature backdrop as the 18th Chitrawan at Kuala Lumpur 2017 takes off. The event is inspired by World Tourism Day themed Sustainable Tourism, a tool for development, which was celebrated last month. Emphasizing the importance of nature and ecotourism as core elements of the industry, Tourism and Culture Minister Datuk Sri Nazri Aziz said the grand event will be themed the sunrise, the green and the echo within. It will take place at Dataran Merdeka, Kuala Lumpur, featuring a unique combination of dance, theatre elements, musical and parades.
Kementerian sentiasa cuba untuk mengenengahkan konsep persembahan kreatif, segar dan bertenaga kepada peminat Chitrawana. Dan Kementerian berpandangan bahawa konsep musical street parade sesuai dengan tema Eko Pelancongan yang menjadi tunjang Chitrawana at Kuala Lumpur 2017.
Speaking to reporters, he added the ministry hoped to ensure that Chitrawana this year would be a platform to deliver the message of the importance of nature, not only in the form of culture but also in arts, heritage and lifestyle. Chitrawana 2017 will also showcase performances from various communities such as Chinese, Indian, Thai and Orang Asli. The event also features food truck fiesta to create a space for visitors to experience cashless food purchasing using smartphones with the cooperation of Batu Road Retailers Association and Boost through the entire day. The Urban Wellbeing, Housing and Local Government Ministry has outlined 5 key components of urban development standards for the next 30 years through the new Urban Agenda document. According to its Minister, Tan Sri Noor Omar, the new Urban Agenda document will steer the direction of urban sustainability by making it more inclusive, safe, resilient and prosperous. Tan Sri Noor, who spoke during the officiating of the agenda yesterday, said the agenda consisted of 5 components: the national urban policy, urban legislation and regulations, urban design and planning, urban council financial system, urban economic and local implementation. Other aspects outlined in the agenda were governance structures, social inclusion, spatial development, urban prosperity and environmental sustainability. The agenda was adopted by 170 United Nations member countries during the Habitat 3 conference in Quito, Ecuador on October 20 last year and has been translated into Malay so that it can be easily adopted in the local context, especially for federal and state departments as well as the local authorities.